Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. So today, before we get started, please, if you're watching this on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're listening to this on our audio platforms, please give a 5-star rating and please subscribe. So it's episode 140, guys. So we have a very cool guest for episode 140. She has, as of this recording, 24,800 Instagram followers and 51,600 YouTube subscribers. In addition, her videos on YouTube have been viewed 9.6 million times. And let me try that again, 9.6 million times. And she is also a Spotify verified artist. So please help me welcome the fabulous Mia Morris.
Hey everyone, thanks for the intro. Dang, hyping me up over there.
You're so welcome. I always hype up all my guests so they can bring exact same energy.
Very sweet of you.
And Mia, thank you so much for being part of episode 140.
Yes, thanks for having me. 140. I feel so honored to be part of the milestone.
Awesome. So, when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into desire to pursue a career in the recording industry?
Yeah, so I was raised on like classic rock. My parents were always playing music around the house. So, I mean, since day one, honestly. But the first instrument I ever played, I was really young, and my parents just thought it would be good for my brain development, I guess, to learn piano, which I think is a pretty traditional childhood instrument. Um, but as those lessons went on, my teacher and I, we did not click at all. And she found out that I wasn't actually reading the music. I was just memorizing what she was doing and hearing the pitches and then playing them. And so the day she found out I couldn't read music, she was like done, started crying. Like it was this whole thing, and she left and never came back. So piano wasn't great for me, but I still loved music so much. Just had that passion for it since day one. And so I picked up drums because I thought they were so cool, and then it just started adding more instruments along from there.
And that's the thing. You're a virtuoso. Besides the piano's teacher is a loss. Is whoever else is gain.
I guess so, yeah, because I probably wouldn't have started playing drums that young if she'd stuck around for my BS. But
I totally agree. And besides, there's a lot of other stuff like what Orthani did with guitar years ago. You're doing the exact thing drums.
yes. So wait, will you say that again? I'm sorry.
Orthani, remember the famous guitar player? What she did for guitar, you're doing exactly with drums.
Oh yeah, exactly. See, I don't need her.
Awesome. So, who are your music role models, and how do they make an impact on your sound?
I love this question. My favorite band ever, and I think one of the best bands to ever live, if not the best, are the Beatles. Duh. I think they not only influenced my entire sound and how I fell in love with music, but literally they shaped the foundation of music today. Every single person who's made music after them had to have been influenced by them, even if they didn't like them. At least they knew that they didn't want to sound like that. But the Beatles are everything. I love, you know, they're like the master of hooks. They have these beautiful melodies over interesting chords, or simple melodies over crazy chords that just taught the world how to view and listen to music differently and write music differently. Um, so they were a huge influence on everything. But drummers, John Bonham and Stuart Copeland, Led Zeppelin and the Police, they taught me that drums can shape the sound of a band, because they were both huge elements and reasons why those bands sounded the way that they did. Um, and with that, I'm influenced by everything that I hear. Like I said, even if I hear something and I'm not a huge fan of it, at least I know I don't want to incorporate that into my writing. So anything and everything influences me.
Awesome. Glad and happy to hear it. Happy to hear it. I also got to say, I got to give the props to Sheila E., one of the original female percussionists.
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
I can't believe I overlooked Sheila E. because Sheila E. laid the foundation for people to do this.
She is so inspirational just because you never see women doing that sort of thing. And so she kind of kept going even though no one else was doing that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot to mention Sheila E. Yeah, you're part of an elite group of rockers.
I wouldn't say all that.
All righty. All right. So, what have been some of the challenges that you faced breaking into the industry, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, so speaking of being a girl, being a girl has definitely been a challenge because people automatically look at you differently. Um, you know, men kind of run it here. And so when a girl walks in to play a session, or, they're filling in for a musician in the band, people are kind of just like, that's a joke. So that one has been difficult, but also being a kid too. People are like, who is this little girl like sitting on the drums over here? Who let her in here? So I definitely have had to work harder to prove myself rather than people just expecting me to be a professional musician like everyone else is expected to be in Nashville. Um, but yeah, I think the good thing about having that challenge is that it did push me to show up to rehearsals prepared, you know, as prepared as I could be. It helped me become professional and kind of just, I don't know, it really got me to work a lot harder than I think a lot of people do in the first place, because they don't have higher bars because they're not a little girl.
But here's the thing: do not set those bars up, because look at Aretha Franklin, look at Dolly Parton, look at Barbara Streisand, and today look at Beyonce, look at Britney, look at Christina, and even for your generation, Billie Eilish. That didn't stop
Oh
them.
yeah, that's so true. I know, and it means that much more to see them growing and thriving in their careers, because yeah, like you said, they didn't let that bother them. They kept doing it because they loved it, and now look at where that brought them. So thank you for that. It's a very good point.
Awesome. And not to mention, there are also incredible young talents. Like, besides Billie Eilish, there's also Justin Bieber when he started out, Charlie Puth, and Shawn Mendes as well. And same with the former girls of Fifth Harmony as well.
Yeah,
So never judge a book by its cover.
that's true. Y'all listen to that.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of the stories behind some of your songs, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So let's start with Melodramatic.
Okay, this one's a little more deep than some of my other songs. And at the time when I was writing this song, I don't think I truly understood what I meant down like underneath the lyric when you really think about it, because when I looked back on that song upon like deciding that I wanted to release it, I was listening to it and I'm like, the song sounds like it's directed towards another person. The first line is, it might just be you're annoying and it's not just me. But when I looked at those, I was like, huh. And listening to the chorus and the second verse, I'm like, this is a song. This is a note to self. This isn't about somebody else. This is me telling myself that I need to chill out. I need to be less melodramatic. It was basically targeting the side of my personality that I'm not so fond of, that likes to show up sometimes. And so that really kind of threw me back a little bit, because that's not the first time where I've listened back to a song and realized that I was kind of speaking from a place of subconscious mind that I didn't even realize what it was about during the writing process. So it's kind of cool, but also like I'm like, wow. So yeah, that's kind of where it came from, even though I guess I didn't know it at the time.
Awesome. And I was just mentioning to you guys before we started our recording process, I was just listening to the song that actually turned me on to you as a musician. It was "We Were Never Friends."
Yeah. So We Were Never Friends is a lot more straightforward, a vibe that I incorporate in a lot of my songs. This song was kind of just about a relationship gone bad, or a relationship that was never actually a relationship, whether that's friends, dating, whatever. It's just like when somebody asks, "Oh, but can we still be friends?" or whatever, and you're like, "Oh, honey, we were never friends." So pretty
All right,
straightforward.
and that song reminded me a little of Avril. I heard there were hints of Avril in there.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot, and I love it because Avril is awesome. Her songs are so catchy, but she adds like she adds cool chords in there that makes it less pop and more alt rock, and that's like I live for that. So I love that.
Okay, so "Only Never Rains" is your most streamed song on Spotify as this recording, with over 213,000 streams.
Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
Only When It Rains. Was actually so I co-wrote that song, and we that was one of the rights where we all kind of showed up and had no idea what was going to happen. All these songs, Melodramatic, We Were Never Friends, were all co-written. um this one was with a stranger, and um a guy that I'm really good friends with, but we were kind of just riffing over this progression and this drum beat that the guy put up on the tracks or whatever. And I don't know, it was kind of sad. I wanted to write a song like Black Hole Sun because at that point in time I was like obsessed. That's a long song, and I would listen to it on repeat. Like I wanted to have that version of that song in my name. Like I wanted to write that. And I guess Only When It Rains kind of came out of that. I went home and rewrote the entire verse, scratched the whole thing that we had written in the right because it just didn't feel right to me. Um, but yeah, so that song was a process. I actually produced it fully twice, but only released the second one. Uh, but I always loved that hook when I came back to it, so I knew that I wanted to put it out eventually. So I'm glad that it's doing its thing on Spotify.
And that's incredible. And not only that, but your song "FU2," which I can't say because of explicit language. It's like basically the 2020s version of Sela. I don't know if of Sela's famous "Forget You."
Yeah, I love that song. Yeah, that honestly, that song was just a buildup of all the internal anger that I had. A lot of people ask me, "Who is this song about?" And it's not directed towards anyone at all. It's just this anger that I had thrown all into a cute little song called "Fu2." Um, and honestly, it wasn't a specific story at all. It was just angry words that felt right to me.
Awesome, awesome. And then "All They Have."
Okay, yeah. So I actually have released two versions of All They Have. There's a reggae version, and then your basic little alt cuter track based version. And that I love reggae. And so when I originally wrote that, I was like, I think this would be a cool reggae song. But the melody and the chorus is so pretty and simple, that I thought more simple production could do it justice as well. Um, so I thought, might as well, I could listen to this melody all day. So I decided to release both. Although the reggae version was recorded first, I released that afterwards because I wanted the main version of All I Have to be that more chill, relaxed track-based version.
Awesome. So one question I have for you is like when you see the numbers, like when your songs get up to 100,000 streams or 200,000 streams, do you think about them or not at all?
Um, I don't know. I really don't try to pay attention to numbers because I'm honestly should focus more on social media than I do, especially TikTok. I've been lacking on that, but I'm so into the music side of things that sometimes the numbers I don't really like enjoy thinking about them or looking at them. I appreciate it and it makes me so happy to see it, but I don't go out of my way to log on to Spotify and like see how it's doing because I'd rather just write a song.
I agree. I think right now, like, I wish that we can live in a world where craft matters, but unfortunately, we both know that numbers matter as well. But however, I agree with you because sometimes the numbers can make you crazy and and sometimes you lose your love for your passion and your craft.
Yeah, screw that. That is not worth it at all. Even my dad, like when I first started playing instruments and, wanting to write music, he was like, it's completely fine to play music. I understand, it's so much fun and like we love it, whatever, but don't ever make it a career path. And look at us now. We freaking moved to Nashville. I'm in the studio. Like he did not want that to happen. So I think it would be really hard for me to lose the love that I have for music, but I don't even want to get close to letting myself think about it like that. So
Totally understand. So let's get back on track. So, who are your dream collaborators? The singers, the songwriters, the producers, and how would they enhance your sound?
oh my god, I love this question, and honestly, I haven't thought about it all that much because a lot of the stuff that I do is just in my house and it's just me, and so I'm not thinking big picture like that. But my favorite artist currently, modern artist, is Youngblood. He's so awesome. I saw him in concert and I literally bawled my eyes out. It was amazing. He if you haven't heard of him, he's a super versatile artist. Reggae, rock, pop, rap, any freaking genre you could think of, he's done it. He's amazing. His personality, the message that he stands for, in all of his songs, I love it. I would love to collab with him one day. Like even if I'm barely in the song, like that would just be so cool to meet him or I don't know, play for him. Um, so he's the one that I think about the most being able to collab with. When it comes to producers and stuff, I really haven't thought about that. I'm kind of open to anything. I enjoy producing by myself, but I think a producer that knows what's up could enhance my sound because um, if we had a good talk about what I was envisioning and then two creative minds working together to make something awesome, I think could be really cool.
Awesome. I also was thinking with you, I don't know if you heard about they're a sister group from Mexico called The Warning. They're really good rockers.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. I've not heard of them.
They
I love that
actually teamed
name, The
up.
Warning.
Yeah, they actually teamed up with Alicia Cara when to do Enter the Sandman for Metallica's Black Lips.
Okay, that's so cool. Yeah, no, I'll check them out. That's dope.
Awesome. So while we're on the subject of social media and other artists, so what are some of your favorite apps? Like I know Instagram and YouTube, but like what other apps?
Um, Meaning for my platforms or
Yeah,
just
your
like
personal. Yeah, what are your personal favorite?
mm, honestly, my personal favorite would have to be YouTube because I've been posting on there since I was 9, 10 years old. And so if you go on my YouTube channel, it is a complete rabbit hole. Like you could get lost in that for hours because there's hundreds and hundreds of videos from me when I was 10 years old, hadn't even written my first song yet, to now. And so it kind of, I think, is the best representation of my journey. Learning music, learning how to write. You can hear my old crappy songs from when I was 13, whatever, trying to write songs for the first time. YouTube is just me. Whereas Instagram and TikTok, I try to show that, but it's harder on apps like Instagram and TikTok for me to get motivated to post when YouTube has just been this, it's like my journal, it's just my whole life. Instagram is more showing like me doing my music videos, or when I used to do drum covers, I would always post them on there too. And then TikTok, I basically just talk about the industry, which I really like talking about that because a lot of people don't know how the industry works here in Nashville, and I love to show people what that's like. Teach people what I've learned these 4 years of living here. So I enjoy all of them, but YouTube is just has to be my favorite.
Absolutely, because I'm starting out with YouTube and slowly starting to get back on into it. So, what like if you had a chance to meet with people who had of your generation who are looking to use YouTube as a way to get their craft out there, what advice would you share with them?
YouTube is tough. It's definitely it's weird to me how my following on YouTube is bigger than any other platform, but that's only because I've been posting on it for longer than any other platform. So YouTube is all about consistency, breaking those algorithms. You need to post, every Friday or every Monday and Wednesday or whatever. You need to get on a routine with YouTube and find stuff that you enjoy talking about and stuff that you think is compelling and true to yourself. And just like I said, schedule is very important, but get it out there and just watch those views pop off, I guess. YouTube, you never know with YouTube.
Alrighty, last question. So, where can my audience find your music and also connect with you?
Yeah, so my music, everything is literally just Mia Morris or Mia Morris Music. My Instagram is Mia Morris Music, TikTok, Mia Morris Music, YouTube, just Mia Morris. And my Spotify, which is so important, that is what I've been working on the most recently because the numbers on Spotify tend to be important. It's just Mia Morris, and I release songs like almost every month, every 6 weeks. So check it out because I have like 40 tracks on there. If you want to hear me sing Wagon Wheel when I was 13, it's on there. So yeah.
That's a great song. Wagon Wheel is.
Yeah, I made a reggae version of it. That was one of the first songs I ever attempted to play all the instruments on. So it was the whole track is me playing everything, and then it's reggae. So it's definitely a fun project, but I sound like an actual child in it.
But that showcases your creativity and your passion for it. So that's incredible. And I'll definitely have to look that up. So, guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our Apple Podcast, Deezer, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker on my channels for that. And it's also Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Once again, JACOBELYACHAR. Are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. All right, and Mia, as I told you earlier off camera, this is, in addition to my podcast celebrating its second year this year, it's also celebrating its 10th anniversary. My platform is celebrating its 10th anniversary.
Oh my, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. This is really awesome. And I'm glad you're finding success in this because I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, but a lot of hard work. So if you guys want to visit jakes-shake.com, you'll find articles, interviews, reviews, including my take on some of Mia's music as well. Now, guys, it's a long, hard road to get Jake's Take where it is because I'm the only one. Now, if you're financially able to, please consider heading up to my PayPal page and help keep my platform up and running. Now, if you're unable to, I totally understand. But a good subscription to my podcast and a good follow on social media would be fabulous. Mia, thank you so much for being the guest on episode 140.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and congrats on the milestone. Woo!
Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you later. Bye, everybody.